and welcome to the WIHS Journal Public Affairs program. I'm Jerry Williams. Patrick Toomey is a graduate of the Salvation Army's ARC. That's the Adult Rehabilitation Center in Hartford. Today and tomorrow, you're going to hear his amazing story. That's happening now on the WIHS Journal. It's news and public affairs. Patrick Toomey is a graduate of the Salvation Army's Adult Rehabilitation Center in Hartford in 2018. He now faithfully attends Norwich Worship Center, where he's on rotation to lead worship. And he's in our studio right now. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? I'm great.
I'm fine. I get this phone call out the clear blue the other day. It's like, hey, Jerry, it's me, Patrick. I'm like,
who?
Right. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, right, Salvation Army. So the backstory is in 2016, after the radio station, I would go to the Salvation Army and do a few hours checking electronics. Did that for about a year and a half before they would go up to the store to sell.
Yeah.
And you would clean them up first, and then that would support the ARC, the Adult Rehabilitation Center. It would fund that ministry.
Right.
And
exactly.
you were a part of that. And you graduated. You went through there with flying colors. You and your guitar.
Yes, and my guitar goes with me everywhere.
So, what's your story, brother? What's your testimony? Your life before Christ? What was it like?
Wow, painful. Excuse me if I have been delivered from so much. My life was filled with drugs and alcohol and abuse and giving abuse and chasing everything that I knew that was not of God. I knew who God was. I was an altar boy when I was in Catholic church. And I loved the Lord. I knew there was more to him then than what they were telling me. But some things happened in my life, and I lost my faith in God, and I began to, supplement my life and the emptiness of my life with drugs and alcohol, and it worked until it didn't. And it caused me great pain. Part of my backstory is I've been married 3 times, and each time drugs and alcohol destroyed what was supposed to be. Or maybe not supposed to be. I don't know. It depends how you look at it. But in 2017, I was going through another divorce. Hadn't seen my son in 12 years, and I was talking to him on the phone. He's like, Dad, why don't you move down here to Florida? You haven't seen me. Come stay with me. I was like, okay. Next day, I packed my stuff. I drove to Florida, not thinking in the back of my mind that my son was a drinker, an occasional drug user, not thinking that it could be a bad thing. Not that all of it was a bad thing, because it wasn't. It was a great time to reconnect with him after 12 years, but long story made a little bit shorter. In my attempts to attend church down there and stay clean and sober, I got caught back up in the drinking with my son. And I remember one morning waking up, and my son had begun to do heroin again. And I was like, if I stay here, it's going to be the end for me. And that's a big part of my story, my son. So I called the Salvation Army again, because I had been there prior to 2017. And Mrs. Petty said, yes, we got a bed. When can you be here? I said, give me 3 days. I'm taking a bus. And I got on a bus. Someone from church gave me a ride to the bus. 3 days later, I was in Salvation Army in Hartford. It felt like coming home, but I was in a place where I was like, God, if you say who you are and you tell me who I am in you, you got to show me. I called him on his word, and I trusted him. And ever since that day, it's been movement forward, closer to him, a closer relationship, more music, more opportunities. My life is completely different.
Patrick Toomey, I met you It all started with Captain Leo Lloyd.
Yes, it did.
He was the captain of the ARC there in Hartford. I had interviewed him and didn't even know anything. I live in Hartford. I didn't know anything about the ARC on Homestead. I knew about the big building. I didn't know what it was. And so when I met Captain Leo Lloyd, who's now a major.
Yes.
He's a major. He's moved on. He's in the Lake George area now. But after I interviewed him and I had spoke to him about possibly doing some part-time work there. And like I said, I ended up in the electronics department.
Yeah.
And then at some point I met you.
Yes.
You know, and you would bring your guitar and everything. And then I saw you at Soul Fest too
Yes,
a
you did.
couple of years ago. So you get around.
And the Toby Mac concert.
And the Toby Mac concert. Yeah.
Yeah.
This brother refreshes my memory. So you're a musician as well. You write your own songs.
I do.
Let's hear one.
All right. This is a song that I wrote a couple of days, and this is part of my story too. I got called into Captain Leo's office one day. In 2017, I was about 7 months into the program, and I was doing some side work for them, and I thought they were talking about, want to talk about what colors were going to go on the walls, because I'm a painter. And I walked in and I saw this look on their face. I was like, wow, it looks like somebody just died. Little did I know, Captain Leo said to me, I think you want to sit down. And right away I thought, oh my God, my daughter Shayna's passed. She OD'd, or my wife, she was a drug addict. Never in a million years did I think that it would be my son. My son David had OD'd the night before, and that's when I found out about it. I was about 7 months into my program, and next thing I know, I'm on a plane going down there thinking that I'm going to help with burial. Not really thinking in the back of the mind that I had a warrant down there regarding a DUI from the wreckage I left, and within an hour of being on the ground, I got locked up. Didn't get to go to the funeral. But by the time I got out of jail, everything to do with the DUI was taken care of. I didn't owe the state anything. So, I wouldn't have chosen that way to take care of it, but that's what happened. I got out of jail, and the day I got out, I flew back and I finished the program. So that's a big part of my story. This is a song I sung 2 days before. I actually wrote it 2 days before I found out about my son. It's called Refuge. You are my Savior. You are my rock. Nothing can touch me. You never leave. You came to my rescue, took all my sin. You are my comfort since I let you in. You are my comfort. You are my friend. You will be with me until the end. You came to my rescue. You took all my sin. You are my comfort since I let you in. So come, Holy Spirit, come here and stay. me. You never leave.
And you just heard my conversation with Patrick Toomey. Join me tomorrow at this same time for part 2. If you would like more information about what you heard today, call WIHS 860-346-1049, 860-346-1049. The WIHS Journal, it's news and public affairs.